This is Rodion Romanovich Raskolnikov, the main protagonist of Crime and Punishment. He has no money, nihilistic thoughts, several forms of untreated mental illness, and is set right at the beginning of Russia's Industrial Revolution. This is Akbar the Great, emperor of the 16th century Mughal Empire in India. He has a bunch of wives, is really rich, and doesn't trust the blonde-haired stranger who showed up randomly claiming to be related to him. I'm guessing that by now you're a little curious as to how I'm going to compare these two novels. Of course, they're set at different time periods, different areas of the world, and of course the themes in them are different. After all, a broke student in 1866 Russia is going to be a lot different than an emperor in one of the largest empires of the 16th century. So, what do they share in common? In the first scenario, we have Akbar, who is the emperor of the 16th century Mughal Empire. At this time, you still have the divine right of rulers, meaning that Akbar was given his power by God, so if you challenged it, then you were challenging God. On the other hand, we have Radia. Radia starts out Crime and Punishment with the firm belief that he is better than everyone else, and that's why he feels so alienated from society. He's just a massive jerk who looks down on everybody, and it's just kind of a constant theme throughout the novel. Basically, one of the first comparisons I'm making is that both of these characters individually think that they are better than their respective societies, and most likely if they met they would think that they were better than the other. Another issue that comes up is the feeling of self-sacrifice and superiority. For example, when Radia murders the landlady, one of his reasons for doing so is because he thinks that everyone wants to murder the landlady, but only he can do it because only he is smart enough to get away with a crime. As well, Akbar firmly believes that he is doing a great deed by not being a quote-unquote barbarian Mughal ruler and not invading other cultures. At this point, maybe you're feeling a little skeptical about my comparison, so let me back it up with some quotes. The first quote I want to draw attention to is from Crime and Punishment, page 54, where it says, quote, Raskolnikov had almost no friends while he was at the university, kept aloof from everyone, visited no one, and had trouble receiving visitors. Soon, however, everyone also turned away from him. This quote not only tells us that Raskolnikov is naturally introverted, but it also gives us a key as to understanding his behavior as a subsequent of his superiority complex. It seems that in this passage it could be deduced that maybe the reason why he's avoiding everyone is because he doesn't think that they are worth his time. The second quote I want to draw your attention to is on page 75 of part 1, where it says, quote, Raskolnikov decided that in his own personal case there would be no such morbid turnabouts. The context behind this quote revolves around him just murdering the landlady and then contemplating what will happen if he gets caught. His assumption here is that he is so superior to the rest of society that no one could ever possibly catch him. The last quote I want to draw your attention to is on pages 68 and 69, and it says, quote, The landlady is a stupid, meaningless, worthless, wicked, sick old crone, no good to anyone and harmful to everyone. Kill her and take her money. In this quote, Raskolnikov is expressing the idea that the landlady is harmful to everyone, and therefore by killing her, he is saving them from something dreadful or something bad. This solidifies his savior complex and his superiority complex. So at this point we've established that Raskolnikov is just a massive jerk. Let's move on to the Emperor. The first quote I want to draw you to is from page 33, and it says, quote, Akbar's ancestors were the greatest men in history, end quote. In this line, basically the divine right of kings is not only being explained, but it's also being expressed that Akbar comes from a long family history of somewhat well-liked rulers or well-regarded rulers. Therefore, he probably sees that he is entitled to a sense of superiority over the people, as his family, and subsequently he, provided them with a good life. The next important quote comes from page 47, and it says, quote, Yet neither the poet nor painter, musician nor sculptor had come close to what the emperor, the perfect man, had achieved. In this line, it's blatantly obvious that the emperor is being described as the perfect man. There's nothing wrong with him, and therefore he can't do anything wrong. So this quote directly supports the idea that the emperor is superior than everyone else. I also just want to point out that Akbar threw the mysterious stranger in jail the second that he claimed to be related to him as well, so Akbar's judgment is being trusted as one that is correct. To wrap things up, both Raskolnikov and Akbar are kind of jerks at some points in their respective books, and their books are completely different and were very hard to compare, so thanks for watching.